Hello, my name's Father Mark Ressler.
And I'm Trish Lackamer, Director of Faith Formation.
We're continuing our message series during the Easter season. The theme is on witness, and again we're following this book here, Everyday Witness. And chapter by chapter, looking at the 5th chapter here today, has an interesting title, Listen with a Cupped Ear. Yeah, I know, it's this happened to me not too long ago. Somebody couldn't hear me, so they put their hand up to their ear, and I'm not sure if young people do that or not, but old people do anyway. Just say, I can't hear you, okay? You need to be clear about what's going on. And, and so what listening to a cupped ear means to me is that it's not only hearing, but it's also understanding and interpreting. So listening, understanding, interpreting. And it's like the old story of the husband and wife where he might listen to his wife, but there's not much understanding going on, and sometimes men lack the ability to interpret it in terms of voice and stuff like that, maybe, that sort of thing. But it's very important in terms of witnessing, especially for listening to the Word of God.
Yeah. I mean, I tell my husband all the time, you heard me, but you didn't listen. Mm-hmm. So, this is actually listening with a cupped ear, which means you're attentive and you're not distracted. In the world today, Father Mark, we're distracted by everything. As we were reflecting on this, I read a few articles about how, especially with parents, I'm in the same room, so I'm being attentive to my children, but I'm scrolling them on my smartphone. So am I really listening with a cupped ear to what is important to them? What they had for lunch might be the most important thing that they have done all day. But if we're just, oh yeah, that's nice, Mac, and we're doing something else, we're missing out on the opportunity. And Father mentioned the Word of God. When was the last time we were silent enough to hear what God had to tell us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually the apostles, the first reading this week, have an interesting story about an early Christian community where there's a dispute going on between those who spoke Aramaic and those who spoke Greek. The Greek-speaking Christians of that community were not getting their fair share of services that the community was providing. And so the apostles, instead of coming down and saying, we're the apostles, we know everything that's going on here, they listened to what was going on to the people there. So they listened with cupped ears, and they understood that they had to come up with a solution that both sides would buy into. And if they didn't listen, then there wouldn't be a viable solution. So they came up with a solution, and both sides followed it, and they lived happily ever after, huh?
If we would just listen to each other.
I think so,
right?
Yeah.
Well, and there was a quote from the book. I don't have the page number here, but it says, there will be days when the most important witnessing that we can do is to sit shoulder to shoulder with a hurting person, uncross our arms, lean forward, and hear their pain, which that kind of reminds me of reconciliation, sort of, that the priest is really listening with a cupped ear in that sacrament. But even just in our day-to-day, and I'm totally at fault for this. Like, it also talks about in the book how we wait for the person to be done so then we can start talking. Can you believe? I kind of like to do that.
You can't do that, do you?
But it really is. I shouldn't be worried about what I'm going to say, but just listen to them.
Yeah, there's different ways of understanding this cupped ear thing. My brother died, my only brother died, who's a priest also, died last August. So anyway, he had a heart attack, was in an IC unit in Dubuque, Iowa. And so anyway, it looked like after I was there on a Monday seeing him, it looked like he was doing well. And I said, well, I'll see you on Wednesday. I had to get back, I had, all kinds of things to do in the parish. And he said, well, come here, I want to hold your hand. And my brother never said that to me in his whole life. Come here, I want to hold your hand. It's like, well, what's going on with him? So anyway, I did. We held hands and I said goodbye. But I didn't know that was the last time I was going to see him alive. had cupped ears, I would understand that he was trying to tell me something more than just, well, I'll see you on Wednesday.
Right.
That he was trying to tell me this might be the last time we see each other. So it's a cupped ear, need to be that sensitivity
Yeah.
to what people are saying.
So will you witness this week and just take time to listen with a cupped ear? Have a great week.